crap one. Let's be honest, you know, I can be pretty bad at times, and if I'm with a crap director, then, you know, then I'm going to be pretty bad, you know. So I think as an artist and as a performer, as an actor, you really want to find somebody who's going to go, I'm there with you. Any crazy shit you want to try, I support you all the way. If it's not right for the movie, I'm going to say to you, but if it's right for the movie, then fucking great. We've gone somewhere that, you know, we normally wouldn't. And so you then start to seek that out. You know, after 10, 20 years in the industry, you start to go, oh, well, I only really want to work with kind of good, interesting directors, you know. And David emailed me or called me, I can't remember exactly, and said, I've got this script. And I was like, oh my God, you know. So I'd worked with David on Animal Kingdom, and clearly was a fan of his style and his sort of, he's unique, you know, he has a unique sense of timing and character development and story realization and all those little intricacies that are sort of there in a film that a lot of people kind of skim over and kind of fuck up, you know, just because I don't know how so many filmmakers are really not very interesting. Because it takes a lot of effort to make a film, you know, and I'm surprised by the amount of people that have a lot of chutzpah but don't have the talent to back it up, you know. And then you come across someone like John Hillcoat or David, obviously, and you go, oh, thank God, you know, you're sort of tasting the food that you want to be tasting, you know. And you move forward and you kind of develop, and you feel as an artist you progress, and you know that it starts to feel like the only way to work. I saw a great interview with Nicole Kidman where she sort of went, all I do now is just seek out the great directors because I know they're going to bring out the best in me. And I know when I did LA Confidential and people say to me, oh, congratulations, great performance or whatever, and I go, I had nothing to do with that performance. Curtis Hanson got that performance out of me. And I think that's when you know it's exciting, when a director gets something out of you that you don't even know exists, you know, as opposed to going, it's all right, I'll give you look number 2, and I'll give you look number 7. yeah, absolutely, whatever you want, you know.
Robin, how many looks have you got in your bag?
Half one.
It's a pretty good one, though, isn't it? I reckon, that one look.
But seriously, is it a similar kind of impulse that attracts you to working on a project like this?
Yeah, I mean, I met David when I'd seen the teaser trailer for Animal Kingdom. It's like a 90-second bit with, what was the song? The Air Supply song. The I'm All Out of Love, the Air Supply song. And from that, I was like, I want to work with that guy. When I saw the shorts afterwards, it was such a great trailer. And you could just tell, just thinking about when you were saying about timing, a very specific sense of timing. And then I met him, and then this script came, and it was just like, ridiculous. The script was ridiculous. And
in what way?
It means in a good way. The spelling was bad. There were no full stops.
Another level of amateur.
On the back of pages, there were pictures.
But yeah, I don't know. It made you want. It was, I mean, I guess out of anyone's comfort zone. I think when me and Guy started doing it, you know, it was a very unusual script, and but yeah, from Animal Kingdom, from his shorts and stuff, I just knew.
You wanted to do it.
Yeah, I wanted to do it. But it's trust. It's like the whole thing is just trust. You can show me about Nicole. There's like 20 directors in the world who any actor should work with, and there are some you can forget about.
I'm assuming I'm one of the 20. No, sorry, I get what you're saying. You're working your way up towards the 20. I'm happy to be a stepping stone.
One of the things that I really love about the film is the sort of tension between this very exterior world and the very interior world of both your characters. So I want to ask David first just about, because the Australian landscape is such a character in this film as well, but when you're working on such powerful, kind of evocative locations, the degree to which design is also in there is kind of maybe less visible. And yet this is a really highly designed film as well. Can you talk about how you approach that sort of combination of elements, if you like?
Well, everything is secondary to the people playing the characters and the places that they're playing them in. It's like cast and locations are the first thing for me, and I don't want to disparage the contribution that all the other heads of department bring, but I think they would probably say the same thing. So as soon as you know who's going to play the characters and where they're going to be playing them, then everything else fits itself around those things. And so, when we get out there, in terms of my work with Natasha Breyer, the cinematographer, it was very much, servicing those landscapes, which are both incredibly intimidating and oppressive and hauntingly beautiful at the same time. So we for instance, didn't want to push the look of the film too hard. We wanted it to look both, oppressive and beautiful, but we didn't want it to have a kind of look. Jo Ford, for instance, it was in a lot of respect, the production designer, she was just about augmenting the world of it. A lot of those towns are, I look at Marie, the town where we spent the last 3 weeks of the shoot, and I was watching the film just tonight and going, I wonder if people think that we did a whole lot of visual effects work to this town, all the busted buildings and stuff. That's just what that town looks like. Amazing. Is that the kind of thing you wanted me to say?
That's fine. Can I ask you, Robert, I think it's a really terrific performance, and you really play a character that in a sense is kind of, folding in on himself and an extremely interior character. When I guess we're used to thinking about performance as something that's projecting outwards, how do you work with that?
That's funny. This is probably this is me at my max of expressing myself. I was being really effusive.
All those bits were cut in.
Yeah. Sorry. How?
No, it's okay. I guess I'm just interested in how when you're playing to a camera, but you're clearly working on something that's very internal in terms of what you're projecting. So how do you sort of, wrestle with that, if you like?
I mean, as I started doing it, when we were doing the scene, I mean, Eric has such a kind of, as a guy who was playing it, it's such a constant focus and energy, and so and very, very singular, especially in the scenes which I have with you, and so you don't really have to. Your content sounds really ridiculous, but you're constantly being penetrated.
The actors, the caterers, pretty much everyone in Maori.
Yeah, he's super reactive, and so it's kind of, it was kind of falling apart the whole time. I don't know how much of it was a conscious decision, because it's just someone he's been told his whole life that he's not allowed to speak, and so even when Eric is sort of aggressively saying, "Speak, you're an idiot," it's still the first time he's actually required to speak. So it takes. I don't even know what I'm saying. This is ridiculous.
You're absolutely right. I mean, I just think that...
You're saying you didn't want to be penetrated. I agree your performance around not wanting to be penetrated, which actually makes a lot of sense.
I'm sick of it.
No more penetration.
I'm going interior.
Guy, can I ask you how? I just realised what I'm following.
Yes, I wore a condom. Yes. It's all very safe.
But how did you develop these characters together? Were you actually, doing a lot of rehearsal work together, or were you going straight?